in our previous class was life processes, and as I told you, the processes, the things which are important for us, for the living organism to survive, and those are nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. And one by one detail we were going to read about them. Next, I had discussed with you the autotrophic nutrition, that is the photosynthesis, and this happens where which organism perform the process of photosynthesis?
Autotrophs.
Oh, yes,
Autotrophs.
autotrophs or the plants. And here we can see what I wanted to actually tell you during that time was that here is the diagram of the leaf. It is the TS. TS means transverse section of the leaf. Suppose this is a leaf. Okay, if I say it is a leaf, this is the dorsal side and this is the ventral side. And if we are cutting it in this way, okay, so this thick portion you are seeing, no, here. So if I am cutting the leaf this way, then this portion diagram is shown you here. Getting this? This portion diagram, when I am cutting the leaf like this, so this is the diagram shown here, and this diagram is also in your textbook. The uppermost is the epidermis, above the epidermis is the cuticle or the waxy layer. That is the cuticle or the waxy layer, and here below this is the epidermis. Barrel shaped cells are here. Hope you are able to see. I am zooming it for you. Can you see the diagram, children?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the barrel shaped cell, and these are the elongated cells. These are all parenchyma cells. Okay, we have studied them, no, in 9th standard also. And these cells are having the chloroplast where chlorophyll is present, and then they perform the process of photosynthesis. So this is what is in the plants. Then we have the structure of the stomata here. This is the kidney shaped cell. This structure of the stomata is, and to mount this is there in your practicals also. Okay, so whenever there will be school, we will having physical school. So first of all we will go with the practical of this also. So here this bulged one is because it is having water inside it. Water has gone inside it, and so this has bulged. It will stretch, and when it is stretching, the pore is opening. Okay, is this much clear? Are you able to? So here what is happening, when this has become turgid, the key term for this is the turgid. So it becomes turgid when the water is entering inside it, and then when it is becoming turgid, it will just swell like this, and the inner layer will be stretched, so the pore is open. But at the same time, when here the water is not inside, some of the water has gone out of it, so it will become flaccid. Just we inflate a balloon, and when we take out the air from the balloon, what happens? It becomes flaccid. So this is what the term is, flaccid, F-L-A-C-C-I-D. So it will become flaccid, and then the pore is closing. Okay, so this is how the stomatal opening and closing is there. And when the stomata opens, then there is gaseous exchange, and when it closes, the gas will not exchange. And you know that during the daytime there is more of the gaseous exchange, and during the night it becomes flaccid, and then there is no gaseous, not so much of the gaseous exchange. And there are many theories which we study in our higher classes, that why it happens and why there are gaseous exchange. This diagram, as I told you that day only, since 3rd standard we are studying. This is a plant, it is trapping solar energy, and chlorophyll is the thing which traps the solar energy, and then it converts carbon dioxide into carbohydrates, and oxygen is released. Next, we had this equation, the process of photosynthesis. Here we have the following events occur during this process: absorption of light energy by chlorophyll, conversion of light energy to chemical energy, and splitting of water molecule. Water molecule, you know, is consisted of hydrogen and oxygen. So it is going split up into hydrogen and oxygen separately, and then reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. All this we have discussed in our previous class. And at that time you told me what is the meaning of reduction. That means here it is addition of hydrogen. So in carbon dioxide, hydrogen from the water is getting added and it is reduced to carbohydrate. Here this is the formula of glucose, C6H12O6. So it is single unit. Okay, when many units of glucose combine together and then they form the carbohydrate. So this is from the simpler raw material to a complex substance is prepared in the plants. And this is taken in by the animals. Okay, and what happens there in the animals? Very interesting thing. First of all, the raw materials are combined to make the complex form. That complex form is taken in by the animals like we, and then what happens? It is digested in our body, and again it is going to be reduced to the simpler form, which is absorbed by the body. Digestion is different and absorption is different. Okay, so first of all, that is breakdown of the complex material will take place, and then it is getting absorbed in our body. And here I am showing you the digestion in amoeba. As you know, this is amoeba. Is it clearly visible? Diagram of amoeba.
It is visible.
One food particle is here, and this is the nucleus of amoeba. Okay, this amoeba, and it is the nucleus, and amoeba have false feet. That is called as the, what it is called? False feet of amoeba. Yes.
What mark can you repeat?
Pseudopodia. Have you heard the name pseudopodia?
Mama, WhatsApp will link by scheme, so we could not hear what was it. What you asked.
cannot hear. फिर से बोलिए. फिर से.
Okay, acha, you were not able to hear me. I am asking you, what is the false feet of the amoeba called as? False feet of amoeba. Pseudopodia, yes. Yeah, good. Pseudo means false, podia means feet. So this at this time, so it is not having that much of the feet. But one of the food particle has come near the amoeba. So it is sensing that some food particle is there. So it has started growing its false feet. The false feet from this side, and it is capturing it. Okay. Then it is closing its false feet, and the food particle is inside the body of the amoeba. Now what will happen? This will just move on inside its body, and the digestion in that food, that is now called as the food vacuole. Once it enters inside the amoeba, then it is called as the food vacuole, and then that food particle slowly digestive juices are released, and it gets digested in the body of the amoeba. And afterwards what will happen? This will act as a waste material, and it will be thrown out of the body of the amoeba. So this is what, but right now we are studying about nutrition. And here, this type of chart you have to prepare first of all on your own. Today I am telling you this, but when you will read the textbook, so try to make such chart. Okay, don't just copy down from here. Try to make this chart so that there is serial number, digestive organ, what all digestive organs are there, and then enzyme or the juice produced by those digestive organs. Okay, enzyme or the juice produced by those digestive organs. And then we have food acted upon. See, there are so many components of food. Now we have studied in our 6th standard that proteins, starch, carbohydrates and all are the components of food. and these food items are acted upon by different enzymes at different places of the digestive system. So this is how you are going to make the food, this complete chart of this food acted upon, that is starch, proteins, then starch, proteins, fats, lipids and all these at different places of the, these are the enzyme, food and substances produced. Afterwards, what is going to be made out of it? Like starch. In the mouth only, we have salivary glands, and salivary amylase is secreted there, and that will act upon starch, and this starch gets converted into maltose, which is a sugar. That is why one experiment is there. Just chew a chapati without anything in your mouth and keep on chewing so that it will start its, so digestion of starch starts in our mouth only. Okay, so there after some time, after a number of times of chewing the same small piece of chapati, what we will observe? We will observe that it is, we will taste it sweet. So that sweet taste is because of the sugar maltose. Like here, one more thing I want to tell you, the stomach make gastric juice is there, that is pepsin. Addition to this, you know, hydrochloric acid is also there, okay, where it is, and hydrochloric acid, how our stomach is not getting harmed by the hydrochloric acid, can anyone tell?
Due to the presence of mucus.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Inner lining of the stomach.
Very good, very good. Because there is mucus lining inside the wall of the stomach, so hydrochloric acid is not acting upon it and we are not getting hurt. But sometimes if in some cases it will, then there are peptic ulcers or some, that is because of some bacteria also, because they were acting upon that mucus lining to break karke, and then peptic ulcer was there. Next is, here you can see proteins. Okay. The main thing which we have to keep in our mind, proteins is getting digested into peptides. Okay, its the simpler form is peptides. Where it is happening? In the stomach. Now these peptides are the fragments of proteins. मतलब कि बड़ा part था protein का and it has gone broken up into a smaller part. Those are the fragments. Later what is happening here? By the pancreatic juice, these are now acting. Trypsin is acting, okay. Amylase is acting on starch, trypsin is acting on proteins, and lipase is acting on fats. So here trypsin is acting now these proteins, which were these fragments जो बच गए थे. Those were in that fragment form in stomach. Now the food has entered in the small intestine, where the secretion of pancreas is now entering, and then this is going to this act upon, and it is now being converted into very small fragments. Okay, these very small fragments are peptides, but still it is not in a condition that our body could absorb it. Still this cannot be absorbed by the body. So what next is going to happen in small intestine? This was pancreas ka jo juice was there. It was in the beginning of the intestine. Later on, slowly, small intestine is also secreting lipase, maltase, sucrase and peptidase. So from A's word, ASE, whenever there is ASE behind any enzyme name, so you can understand that, okay, it is going to act upon peptides. Fine. Sucrase on sucrose. It is going, maltase will act upon maltose, and lipase will act upon lipase. Okay, lipase will act upon lipids. So here this is, so now this peptidase is now acting upon peptides, and this is getting converted into amino acids. Now these amino acids are the simplest form of the proteins, and this now can be absorbed in the body through the villi. Is it clear till here? From the beginning I will start.
Ma'am, we are able to hear.
Are you able to see the video?
We are able to see and hear.
Okay then. Listen also, huh?
The human digestive system is very complex and has evolved over millions of years. It basically consists of the rectum, the large intestine, the small intestine, the pancreas, the stomach, also called gaster and ventriculus, and the liver with the gallbladder. The esophagus is also part of this system, as well as various salivary glands near the mouth. First, the food is broken up in the mouth by the teeth and then mixed with saliva with the help of the salivary glands. Saliva contains a digestive enzyme called amylase that already begins to digest carbohydrates in the mouth. It splits carbohydrates into smaller units. The ball-like mixture of food with saliva, also known as bolus, is pushed into the throat by the tongue, and finally into the esophagus, which propels the bolus to the stomach. The esophageal lumen, that is, the opening inside the esophagus, is very flexible, which allows boluses of different sizes to be transported. The esophagus consists of several layers. These layers occur throughout the entire digestive tract. The two outer muscle layers are responsible for peristalsis. Through these two muscles, the bolus can be transported from the mouth to the stomach, even if the person is standing on his head. The stomach is often divided into 6 areas. The stomach is composed of a similar structure to the esophagus. It has a longitudinal muscle layer on the outside. Underneath, we can find circular muscle fibers. In addition to this, there is an oblique muscle layer overlaying the mucosa. On the inside, there are rugae that allow the stomach to enlarge when food is consumed. The stomach wall contains gastric glands. They produce mucus, which is able to protect the stomach wall from the secreted gastric acid. Gastric acid is produced by simply smelling or seeing food, but also spices, and the stretching of the stomach causes the secretion, that is, the release of gastric acid. About 1 to 2 liters of gastric juice are produced per day. Since the esophagus does not have a protective mucus layer,
See, here I want to show you now. This will be shown. This is the inside of the stomach, and here where there is the arrow now, from here you will see that bolus is coming. Okay, bolus is coming out. So this you will see right now. I have paused the video so that you observe it. This is the opening of the esophagus inside the stomach. Am I audible? Am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am.
Haan,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
now see that way, okay?
like the stomach and esophagus are separated by a sphincter. It relaxes when a bolus is pushed from the esophagus into the stomach and then contracts to prevent acid and food from going back up.
So here
Gastric.
you saw that bolus was coming inside the stomach, but it is not going to go back because of this pyloric valve. Okay, this is what is asked to you also. Once the food is getting inside the stomach, and why do we vomit, or why it is not coming back. So that is how it is allowing the movement of the bolus on one side only. When there is some disease, some infection or something, then only we get the vomiting, no?
Juice consists, among other things, of hydrochloric acid, the enzyme pepsin, the intrinsic factor, and lipase for the digestion of fat. In addition to nutrients, food also contains bacteria that can damage the body. The components of hydrochloric acid are able to destroy harmful bacteria. In addition, hydrochloric acid converts pepsinogen, also released by the gastric glands, into pepsin. Pepsin is able to break down proteins in the stomach. For vitamin B12 absorption in the small intestine, the intrinsic factor is needed, which is produced by the gastric glands. The vitamin must combine with intrinsic factor, then it can be absorbed later by the small intestine. Vitamin B12 helps keep the body's nerve and blood cells healthy and helps make DNA. It also contains gastric lipase, an acid-resistant enzyme for fat digestion. In the stomach, gastric lipase splits a triglyceride into a free fatty acid and a diglyceride, whereby only the free fatty acid can be absorbed by the body. More effective fat digestion takes place in the small intestine.
Byju's app understands your child and helps them learn better.
So, this video I will share with you. And here in our yes. So from the book, the notes which you are going to make is mouth. The mouth is the beginning of the digestive tract. In fact, digestion starts here as soon as you take the first bite of a meal. Chewing breaks the food into pieces that are more easily digested, while saliva mixes with food to begin the process of breaking it down into a form your body can absorb and use. So that has to be the main purpose, the form which our body can digest, absorb. Next is esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and here is the diagram. This is also a flow diagram from where you can learn what all gastric juices or what all enzymes are being secreted where and what is being acted upon them. So here it is: stomach, pancreas, liver, and liver produces bile which is stored in the gallbladder. From here you can see the duct is here, and through this it is going to the stomach. Bile breaks down large lumps of fat into, yes, anyone? Anything you are saying?
Where is the gallbladder located?
See, gallbladder is here. This is the gallbladder. Near the liver.
Okay, ma'am.
है ना? This green colored. And then it is secreting, bile breaks down large lumps of fat into smaller lumps and help to neutralize stomach acids. So all these different functions of the different gastric juices are also asked in the exam. And then here what pancreas are doing? Pancreas are producing lipase, amylase and trypsin. We saw this in our previous chart also, no? And their work, pancreatic amylase breaks down starch into maltose, and pancreatic lipase breaks down fats into fatty acids and glycerol. These are now the forms which can be absorbed in our body. Trypsin breaks down polypeptides into amino acid. That fragments, its technical term is polypeptides. Poly means many. So many peptide bonds are there. They are uniting. So it is a complex structure. It is breaking down into the simpler one. Then we have large intestine, rectum and anus. Next we will start with our respiration chapter. Okay, and the video which I showed you, 7 minutes more was left in that video. So I will share that with you all. So is it clear till here, children? Digestive system and all? Nutrition part
Yes, ma'am.
of plant as well as animal.